Hi, everyone. Welcome to the How We Hustle podcast.
I'm Mike.
And I'm Tanya. And we invite you to join us in our unfiltered conversation about the real life hustle of being an entrepreneur. For more information about the podcast, check out howwehustlepodcast.com. Make sure to follow us on Instagram at How We Hustle Podcast, where you'll get notable quotes from our episodes and updates on live new episodes. So head over to Instagram and follow us at How We Hustle Podcast.
So before yesterday, I hadn't made a post on Instagram in over a month, and we've been slacking a little bit on releasing these episodes. And partially the reason is because I've just been feeling like I want to hide a little bit. I've been feeling a little bit, a little bit down on myself with my business, because as I'm starting a new business, and as we talked about in the last episode, I'm just kind of starting from the beginning, and there's a lot of things I got to do before I start really feeling that momentum. So to promote myself online as this super successful entrepreneur, sometimes it's harder than other times, right? If you're feeling down, you don't always feel like you want to go on Instagram or go on, videos and just be all happy. It's a lot easier to hide. But as I've been working with you as my coach, it's becoming clear that the solution to my problems is to stop hiding. I was even on Instagram Live yesterday, and I was talking about this, and someone was like, obscurity kills businesses. And I was like, yeah, exactly. It's getting myself visible is the most important thing for me to do right now. So what did I do? Even though I was feeling uncomfortable, I went on Facebook Live. I started posting again. I did some Instagram stories just to break that habit of hiding. So we're going to talk in this episode about the importance of getting visible and ways to do that.
Mm-hmm. And I actually have a full training on this called Quit Hiding and Get Visible, which we can leave the link in the show notes of this. But I teach that training because getting visible was the piece of the puzzle that really catapulted my business. I had all the other pieces in place, and I wasn't getting any traction in my business. And the moment that I started actually getting on live video, on Facebook Live consistently every week, that's when my business really exploded. And the more I did that, the more it exploded. And because people are seeing you, one, Facebook and Instagram, they favor video. They favor live video. And so you get a bigger organic reach, and people get to see you and interact with you and get to know you. And when you do it live, it doesn't feel staged. It's not staged. So you can make mistakes, and things are not always super smooth, and they can interact with you even. And it feels more like you're a real person like them, rather than this heavily produced or perfect or cut together, online influencer of some sort. And it really brings it down to, we're just people, we're just people. You're on video, you're wherever you are in the world, living your life. And this is happening in real time. So I kind of think that it is the most important thing or easiest thing that you can do for your business. When I say easy, I don't mean that it's easy emotionally. I mean it's easy in the way that doing live video is very fast. You can't really, you don't need to have 100 takes of it. And it's if you're doing a 10-minute live video, it's finished in 10 minutes. So it's you get a lot of bang for your time, basically. In 10 minutes, you can connect with people.
Let's talk for a second about what you said about it being hard emotionally. I think that's a good thing to sort of talk about, because it is hard. Especially if you're feeling not so I don't say positive, but if you have a little bit of imposter syndrome, it's hard to get on a Facebook Live and just go, because you're really putting yourself out there for what you think is criticism. I say what you think is because when I have yet to have someone message me and criticize me for putting myself out there. I don't know about you, but have you ever had hate mail? no, hate mail's the wrong word. I don't use the word hate, but like, have you ever had someone criticize you for being vulnerable on a platform like that?
So I actually think that hate mail is kind of like a rite of passage, and I have had it now. But at the beginning, definitely not. But I think that that's everyone's fear, like the fear of judgment, and the fear of being an imposter, the fear of not being perfect or making a mistake. Like these are actually all things I talk a lot about, was because that's everyone's fear. And honestly, everyone that I've done this with, all of my clients that have done this, they just get so much love from it. Because most people, if they don't like it, they're not going to watch. If they don't like it, they're just like going to move on. They're not going to comment on it. Unless you're like some celebrity where people like feel like they want to like fight about it, you know, and you can just, you know, you can remove their comment or report them. But in reality, the people that watch it are the people that are loving it, the people that are learning something or that are proud of you or that wanted to get to know you or see you. And so you end up getting so much love, and people don't expect it because it's like the scariest thing. Like I remember when I first did it, my first live video, you guys can all go back and watch it. It was actually November 16th of 2016. So it hasn't even been a year, but I did a video on the fear of doing video because I was so afraid of doing video. And in the end, I just talked about that fear because I think that the key to all of this is that showing and sharing those vulnerable parts of yourself, that showing people that you're not perfect and your life isn't perfect and you don't always feel perfect and that not everything is perfect all the time. I think that that makes it more real and more relatable, and it's more true. So I think it's kind of good when you don't feel your best to share both parts of that, you know, sharing the difficult struggles, sharing the things that you're not super confident about, and doing it anyways. Because my biggest question for myself and for my clients now is, are you willing to be judged by 10 people in order to help one person who is struggling?
And that's the same question you asked me.
Mm-hmm. And that is I ask myself that question with everything I put out, every vulnerable thing that I put out, every client I have that's feeling that way. It's like, okay. And I always use the analogy or the metaphor of a candle. Leaders are candles. Leaders need to burn a little in order to light the way for other people, right? We have to do the scary thing. We have to be the fire, take the heat sometimes, in order to help other people. And that's the path of an entrepreneur, because you're not walking the paved road. You're not doing the things that other people are doing, and you're going to take heat. There will be times, whether it's your family, your friends, people online, there will be times where you're going to take heat. But at the beginning, I guarantee you that all you get is love. But keeping in mind that, are you willing to do this if it helps one person who is struggling? Because it will help one person who is struggling. And that's the reason behind why you're doing it. In addition to, let's not sugarcoat this part too. It's like, you're doing it in order to help your business as well. If you never get on video, I think it would be pretty difficult to grow a very successful business. Like, people want to see the person behind the brand. That's why brands use celebrities to sell their brands, right? Because if it's just a brand with no face, it's very hard for people to relate to that. Like, they relate to the person, not the thing.
So something that you've helped me with is when I've sort of started doing video. I still say I'm certainly new at it still, but the first few videos I did it because I didn't want to get judged. I wanted my video to be perfect. So what I did was I wrote the script out of what I wanted to say. I put the script on my computer and I basically looked at my camera and read the script. And I always think that I'm fooling people. I'm trying not to move my eyes. And then I also found this app on the computer that turns your computer into a teleprompter. I did that too. And what did you say to me? You're like, that looks terrible.
Yeah, it's horrible. It's horrible. And it doesn't connect with anybody.
Yeah,
Like
I'm
the
basically
whole
like
night,
just like stoic, looking at the computer like a robot. So I
yeah.
kept fighting you. I was like, no. So you gave me a suggestion. You're like, scrap all that and just go for a walk in the park and talk to your phone, like holding it like a Facebook Live. That worked so well. I didn't have any notes. I kind of like, you fumble some words. You don't have all your ideas perfectly laid out, but you're just talking, just like I'm talking right now. I don't have any notes in front of me. I'm just making it up on the spot, just like you are. We're just having a conversation. That's what connects.
Yeah, and also I think like it was funny because this podcast was one of the things that really, really helped me get comfortable with talking, because most people don't know this about me, but I couldn't talk in a crowd of people. I couldn't talk to a group of people before we started this podcast. I really struggled with speaking when people were looking at me, and this podcast helped me kind of get my voice. And Mike and I, like, we don't plan out what we're going to say. We don't have a script. I'm sure some people do, but we definitely do not ever have a script. So I'm like, how to speak to people. Like, the key I think about is like, pretend like you're having a conversation with one person, because that's really what this is like, if you're going to connect with people, it's about having a conversation, not preaching to an audience. Like, I want it to sound like we're having a conversation, just me and you, and not talking to a big crowd of people. So I think that that's like a key is I usually will write out a couple of notes, like points that I want to hit, like especially if I'm giving a list of things, of tips or things that to do, like so that I remember in case I forget. I mean, I usually have the paper next to me with those 3 points that I wanted to hit. And then it's just like whatever comes out, kind of dance in the moment and go with what you feel and what comes out. But I think that Mike also, the walking suggestion I made for you was because I know you feel really comfortable and you get inspiration when you're walking. So being in a space where you feel inspired is going to be a good space for you to do it, right? If you feel awkward and uncomfortable and you're trying to hide somewhere, or, you're in a weird position, then it's not going to feel natural or comfortable.
Yeah, that's part of it. Like I consider myself kind of an awkward person. So if I'm like sitting on my couch or at my desk or wherever it is, I'm just staring at the camera. I look very uncomfortable. But if I'm walking and just like kind of like gazing, like just looking, like I'm really casual and I just find my flow, and I it's just easier for me when I guess the part of it is like when you're doing videos, you don't really need to worry about production value. You can just get on there and like be visible and talk. You don't have to worry about like the set.
Mm-hmm. And I think like I did a bit of research before you and I had that call, because I knew that was what I did. So I wanted to make sure that it wasn't just what I did, but what I was attracted to. So when I did a bit of research before our call, because I knew you were going to ask me about something like that after I had watched your video, I was looking at like the suggested videos in my newsfeed to see which ones did I like and which ones did I not like. And the ones that were heavily produced just didn't feel like I was connecting with them. Whereas the people that were just like in their house or like out and about in the world doing a video that was really live and that was really, just them talking to the camera, felt more, I just felt more connected to them. They felt more personable, I guess. And so I realized like, if I'm attracted to that, likely a lot of other people are too, right? Like, I think that when it's too heavily produced, you lose that approachability connection piece with the audience, I think.
Yeah, I tried so hard. I tried so many like takes and whatever to make it perfect. The lighting, like I took the big picture off my wall so that it wouldn't be in the shot. Like, and then it just didn't come out. None of that stuff matters. The best video I did is just when I have my phone in my hand, pointing at my face, and like headphones in my ear, just, dancing in the moment, as you say.
And I think that the key to this is like it gets so much easier. Like I remember like fully blacking out for every live video that I did at the beginning. And I remember I would be like, okay, I'm just going to put it up for 1 hour. And if I hate it in an hour, I'll take it down. But I think it was actually you, Mike, who like sent me a message on my second video that I was going to delete. You're like, oh, I really liked that video. Or like even I look back now and some of the videos that have the most views are ones I did like in a pajama shirt or before I went to bed, like, or, still wearing my work outfit that like, it's not looking cute, and it doesn't really matter what it looks like. It's really like the content and like the people that are there. And I think that showing up, it gets so much easier if you're consistent with it.
Yeah, and I find like I've been posting some videos and like I have this like small tribe of people, of which you are in, who like, always comments and sends me positive energy, and it really helps. So appreciate that.
And like support those people. Like I'm big, actually, this is something I've been talking a lot about on my videos and in my group and on podcasts and stuff this week, is that I love supporting each other, like having a group of people that support you and support each other and like building up your success, but also in like bragging about things that are great. Like having a bunch of people that will like pump you up and that you can brag to pump yourself up. Because too often we're like, oh, I don't want to be cocky, or I don't want people to think like I'm obsessed with myself. Well, no, actually, I think it's sad and unfortunate that why can't we talk about the great things about ourselves? Why do we always have to talk about or focus on like the things we don't like about ourselves or the things that are not working? Like, why is it bad to brag about things that are going well? Like I celebrate literally every little thing, and like I want to celebrate everyone and everyone's success. So I'm like, I want to know about every great thing you do in your business, and I want to be there to support you through every great thing that you do in your business. Like, who wouldn't want to do that?
So do you think that we need a good reason to go online and get visible and like do a video, or do you think that like should it be a special occasion? Like I know you do your videos every Tuesday. What if I just want to like hop on there and say hi? Is that like...
Oh, I think that's amazing. The more videos, the better. Like I think that you should have at least a consistent day that you do go on video, but maybe that consistent day is more of something, or a consistent time every day, like whatever it is. I think that there should be some sort of consistency to it, but going on live video doesn't mean that you only do it on that day. Like you can go on live video whenever. I mean, if you have something to share, if you just learn something, or you want to share something with people, like I think that live video is the best way to do it because they can interact with you, and it gets a lot of reach, and it's fun and it's fast because you, as I'm sure you know, when you re-record or pre-record things, you end up doing a lot of takes. Like even when I've been doing video now for almost a year consistently, and if I pre-record something, oh my goodness, like a minute video can take me 2 hours to do. Whereas if I had done it live, it would have taken me 1 minute. So I think that it's faster. If you need to share something, if you want to connect with people, if you want to promote something, even if you just want to show them like what you're up to, like part of social media, especially when it comes to Instagram stories, isn't so much about promotions as it is about them getting to know you, right? It's really the know, like, and trust factor. When they get to like a peep into your life, like they feel like they know you, and that only builds the connection.
And I think that's something that I was struggling with. It's just like I was always trying to legitimize, if I'm gonna go on there and put myself out there, I have to like have like a really good reason. I have to bring lots of value. But you're right. Like, I watch stories all the time, and it's just like, I just want to get to know that person. I just want to see them. I don't need them to drop value bombs. I just want to, like, just get to know them. And that's sort of my new approach, is just like, go on there, say hi. If people don't want to say hi back, they'll literally just not watch. It's fine. I'm not that important that I'm going to, like, offend people by being out there.
No, and that's the key. Like, they don't have to watch. Like, they don't have to click on it. They don't have to do that, and so they have a choice. I think that if you can connect with people and, show them a little bit about what you're doing, or to be available in terms of, like, answering questions or sharing value, like, I think that is only beneficial. I think that Instagram would be Instagram stories is likely a better place to do that than Facebook Live, but that's not to say that you couldn't do that on Facebook Live too. And I think that Facebook also has some sort of story part too. I've never used it, but I think that Instagram stories is a great way to share, like, just what you're up to and funny things or thoughts, or, getting to know you and your life. And part of what I struggle with is my life is so awesome that sometimes I feel like I don't want to rub it in. So I don't really show all the, like, things I do outside of working, because sometimes it's like, well, like, should I really be sharing that stuff? But I mean, I guess people want to see, like, what your life does look like outside of work too, right? That is the dream. Like, that's the dream that they're building, or that's the dream that they're aspiring to. And what does your life look like? I guess people are always, like, interested in that stuff. So
I think people want to work with people that are real too. Like, there's a certain, when you put yourself out there, you're real. And I think people want to work with real people. Like, people want relationships with real people, not just brands.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I definitely need to get better at doing more non-businessy things on my social media accounts. But, the struggle is real. I think that getting visible in general is very important, whether it's showing a little bit of your life, or whether it's getting on video so that they can see who you are. I think that whatever type of visibility you can do, doing a little bit more each day or each week is only going to benefit your business, especially if, like, they see your face all the time. If they're seeing your face often, they're more inclined to purchase from you. So if they feel connected to you, they feel like they know you and you're getting in front of them often, they're going to choose you when it becomes time for them, when they feel ready, or even when they don't feel ready, but they still decide to invest.
So that's what I'm hustling on now. I am trying to get visible despite how uncomfortable it is. And I'm pretty sure that the more I do it, the more comfortable it will become, and the benefits will accrue as a result.
Mm-hmm. I know all my other clients, like, they've said to me that the more visible they are, the more they share, the more Instagram stories they do, the more lives they do, the more sales they make, the more clients they book, the more people join their Facebook group, the more people join their email list or follow them on social media. So the proof is in the numbers.
Just do it and it will work.
Yeah. Push past your fear. And I mean, not that I'm going to put a shameless plug here, but if you are struggling with fear, the fear of judgment, self-doubt, how to get visible when you're feeling like an imposter, then we'll leave the link for my Quit Hiding and Get Visible training that you can take. It's a free training, and I go through some exercises that will help you move beyond those fears.
And that's a wrap on another episode of How We Hustle. For more information, check out howwehustlepodcast.com.